Good morning and welcome to my channel PawfectPastimes. My name's Amanda. I live in Dorset in the southwest of England with my husband and my two dogs and Willow snoring behind me. How are you all? I hope you've got through the past week with no upsets or incidents. We won't talk about news, we won't talk about anything else that's gone on, but the weather has been interesting. It's been overcast and chilly still, but we have had some sun. Anyway, I hope you're all well. And if you're coming back, thank you so much for joining me again. It's always lovely to have familiar names in the comments and to know you're out there. And if you're new, thank you for giving me a chance and enjoying I'll enjoy your company too. Please don't forget to do the like and subscribe if possible. Liking at least, or hyping or whatever, at least gets my channel out there. Thank you. That's the best way you can support my channel. Thank you very, very much. I'm grateful to have you all along. So it's again a bit of a light week. I've been pottering, gardening, nothing really interesting at all. I've still got to do a bit later on. When I finish up with you here, I'm going to be going and making some steps for the deck and do some pottering around the house. There's a few little things I've noticed that need, like a windowsill needs painting a bit or something, you know. So it seems the right kind of weather for doing that. So that's what I'm going to be doing later. And this afternoon I hope to be out there and enjoying a bit of knitting time in the garden. Everything's coming into flower and it's wonderful. And I did put in a bit of some of the flowers in the garden at the beginning, I hope. There's Miss Gwyn. There was Miss Gwyn. Anyway, I'll just have a wet me whistle and get on with the podcast. This week I do have a finish for you, and it is my Cloudbreak Tee, and I am over the moon with it. I'll insert a little video of me wearing it to save me having to get up. Well, I'll get up a bit anyway, so you can see it in the reel. I am wearing it. I've worn it a couple of times actually. I had a hospital appointment for more blood tests, my big blood tests again. So I wore it there, and the phlebotomist really quite enjoyed looking at it. That was very nice. It's a lovely DK Merino by Yarnsmiths, and I was very, very pleased it came out as well as it did. It is an inexpensive yarn, and this is vintage denim. Let me see if I put my eyes on, I can actually read things. H3650 vintage denim. I did do a few little alterations on this. I didn't want this lace starting in an inappropriate area, so I've added 2 inches under here. Otherwise it would have been up here, and I don't think that's very flattering. As I said before, the beautiful young lady who's modelling it is probably about 30-40 years younger than me. That extra 2 inches just gives me that little bit of space for the girls, and I think is a little bit more flattering on my shape. Another thing I added was on the pattern you pick up straight away and go into the rib. I added 1 inch of rib under the arm. I could do with an extra inch, to be honest, because I don't like my upper arms, but I'm happy with it as it is. Another thing I didn't notice about this yarn, which is probably a little unusual, is that where I joined in, I usually do the magic knot, and I found it didn't hold the magic knot. Now I usually do the magic knot with the tail and then weave the ends in gently on the back because I don't want a mark. I have tried Russian join with this, and it doesn't like that either. It's quite a slippery yarn. And it's beautifully soft, or merino. I'm not sure I've got a label left now. Oh, it's in my book. Yarnsmiths Merino. It is 100% superwash merino, so it wouldn't have done a Russian join anyway. That's why it wasn't holding in a Russian join. Knits to most DK patterns, 22 stitches. 50 grams is 110 meters, so that's quite generous, isn't it? But it is quite a nice plumpy yarn, and I enjoyed knitting with it. It's very, very soft, but because it's so soft and silky, it doesn't want to hold a knot. So if you knot the back with a magic knot, or however you make it, be careful, it does slip out. So my magic knots tails have definitely been woven in on the back. This is my finish for the week, which I am over the moon with, and it is the perfect weight for this weather. And I'll get plenty of wear out of this. I'm going to make a few more DK t-shirts, I think. So the other thing I had underway was my second Calliope, which I was making in the Yarn for the Soul I bought at their shop. And because I wasn't sure if I'd have enough to make the whole sweater and the long sleeves, I chose a grey yarn to make the cuffs. The Calliope has very long cuffs. They're about 7 or 8 inches long, but that's what I like about it. It has this lovely yoke and the cuffs. In fact, I am going to disturb Willow and put this on Clarice for you. Okay, I've put the Calliope on Clarice, and I'm hoping to show you. I had a little problem with the sleeves, and it is still there, but not as bad as it was. I can see it worse in the camera than it is in real life, but you can see there is a pooling going on. It was quite extreme to begin with, but you can see it there. And after 3 attempts of trying to get rid of the pooling by alternating skeins and using one skein both ends, helical knitting, zigzag helical knitting, all sorts of things, I just said to myself, get a grip and live with it. So I am going to live with that. It does look a lot worse on the camera than in real life. To be honest, it's one of those a blind man would like to see it things. So I got down to just below the elbow, and I've started the knitting of the cuff in grey, and it is working up really well. I'll just take that off, Clarice, for a minute and show you what I mean. I've tried this on and it fits beautifully. So this sleeve goes down, there's my elbow crease, and I didn't do too many decreases. As you know, I said just a minute ago, I hate my top arm, so I didn't do too many decreases. I did a few round there to bring it to the number. It's a 2x1 rib, so I needed a multiple of 3, so I did a little bit of decrease in there, but I also went down from a 4.5 to a 3.75 DPN, and the transition there, I've done a Vickel braid, or a Latvian braid. I don't know if you can just see it there. Is it visible? I'm not sure. Let me take my arm out again. There we go. You can see the Vickel braid, or a Latvian braid. It is incredibly easy to do, and it just gives that little division line between the two colours. And this grey I chose from the Pixie Yarns at Unravel this year, and it initially seems quite a dark grey. It's the right tone of grey that goes with the grey in the seascape, and because I'm holding it with the Kid Silk Haze, I think it makes a lovely blend, and I think that's going to work really well. I'm quite excited by it. My idea of what I had in my head is coming to fruition, so I'm pleased about that. I'll just have to live with this pooling. That is a lot worse in the camera. Cameras never lie, but they really do exaggerate things, don't they? It's not that I hate pooling, but I tried my best and it happened, so I'll live with it. If you're that picky to comment on it, if you see me wearing it, go away. I just love the sweater. It's so beautiful. The yarn has come up lovely with that Kid Silk Haze. So I'm really, really, really pleased to be moving on with that finally. It came out of Sleeve Island. I've just dropped my glasses, excuse me. There we go. Right, I'll now put Clarice out of the way. So you can again have a wonderful view of Willow in the background there. Right, the other garment I was knitting was the 3-season cardigan, again by Wool and Pine, and I am a big fan of cables. I must admit, as I've grown older, I prefer a more relaxing, comfortable, easy knit. I used to do everything that would challenge me and everything that would look wow. Now I just want to be able to knit. I just want to knit. It doesn't, I don't need to do complicated. And I've just dropped a load of stitches there because I haven't got my stitch markers in. Not stitch markers. I haven't got my stoppers on. There we go. Anyway, I have done an extra inch. that's all. This is the back neck and this is the back shoulder, so it's actually that way up. And as with most cables, it takes a little while to get the pattern set, but I am getting there. There's the lace bit and there's the cable twisted, oh, I've forgotten what she calls it in there. Anyway, but there's the cable panels and there's the twisted pearl. I've got to find the name of that. What did she call it? Ah, she just calls it a pearl twist. But I think because it's done on the wrong side, it looks quite pretty. Oh, there's the right side. The lace bit, the P twist, pearl twist, another little lobster claw going up, the main cable pattern which is starting to grow, and then it's repeated on the other side. So I'll put a stitch marker in if I have one to hand. What have I got there? Little sheep. Ooh, there he is. That is your marker, so you can see that I'm actually working on it. And I'm picking that up when I know I've got a bit of brain space and a bit of quiet time, because it does take some concentration. For easy knitting, hello Gwynnie, I have got my Shawl Society 6 Serpentine Pavilion by Helen Stewart, and there's the cable up the side. It is very easy, mindless knit cable all up the long side. I am using, again, that is incredibly stripy in the camera. It's a bit softer than that in real life, but this is a Rowan Merino sock. Rowan sock made with superwash wool, 25 polyamide. And this stripy colour for a sock, 0004, I mean, that's quite an extreme stripe for a sock, isn't it? I am finding there are some thick, thin areas in the yarn. And for Rowan, I think that's a bit strange. But, I mean, there's about as many stitches as you'd have on a sock. So the socks would be very, you know, the toe all one colour and the leg all the other, and then whatever the next one would be. Obviously, as this is getting wider, the stripes are getting thinner. But it's incredibly mindless, incredibly easy, and I'm using up a yarn that was in my stash for quite some time. So I'm just quietly getting on with that. It's a bit of car knit. And the other thing I've been doing that's car knit is a Spin and Blether self-striping yarn, which I bought at the beginning of the year. And this is called, I can't find it anywhere on my receipt or anything like that, and I haven't got the ball band in there. It's around somewhere, but they're very naughty of me. But this is called Wednesday's Child, I think. And I think the contrast is Woe Is Me. If you're a Wednesday fan, it will make an Edgar Allan Poe reference. But because these are two balls, so that they come out the same stripe, I am knitting them at the same time-ish. Carefully take out the right DPN. There's the pretty toe. And there are the stripes. I'm doing these toe up. I will put a Flegel heel in, and the other one I'm just at the flex stripe finish there. So that's about down there. I'm just catching up with it. I'll put a Flegel heel in, which is ridiculously easy. And that means then I can knit up the leg with as much yarn that's as left, or as what I would like, and finish off with the pretty cuff at the top. So those are my two easy car knits, the sock or the Serpentine Pavilion shawl. They're just nice, easy grabs and get on with. Yeah. Thank you for your response to the hand massager last week. I think a lot of you can relate to the aches and pains we get in our craft. If you are a, thank you, Willie. If you are a user of fine things like needles or repetitive things like knitting, it really is a lovely little massage tool. And I will put the link down below again for your discount. And if you go through my link, I get a little bit back, very, very minimal, on you visiting their site. And if you buy anything, but just visiting the site, I get a little bit back, which helps support my channel, which is very nice. But I have been using this quite a bit, and it's so nice, especially with the hand cream on. Put the glove on over the hand cream and away you go. And the other thing that you were all commenting on, well, not all of you, a few of you commented on, was my little goblin in the watch fob. I was showing you my frames I had to do the curiosities in cross stitch. I have quite a few weird collections around the house. I am a collector of weird things. And my little goblin, a few of you commented. Well, many, many years ago, I used to follow a lady called Dee Schiller, and she wrote a book called Odd Fae, because she used to make odd fairies. And I managed to buy the book, and I bought from her one of her nut fae. See him there, and he's in a lovely nut case. She's in America, and this is a pendant. So sometimes when I want a muse, he's with me. And in the book that she did, it was how to make things. So as well as making him in the watch fob, sitting there watching, I also did, and I've given others away, a few other people like these, the hermit men in their shells. I had a couple of requests for some of these, so I've done a few. They're quite fun. And I have one who's actually out in the wild a bit. He has a bit of a story to him. He's lost an ear now. He's quite old. When my son came back from his travels, he was often chasing the waves. He was a big surfer, so he went to Australia a few times and Bali and all that sort of thing. Always used to bring me back funny little trinkets. And one of the things he brought me back was a glass bottle. And it had, I can't remember what it had in it. I think it just had some trinket-y things in it. Anyway, when he brought it back for me, it broke, and he was devastated that it had broken. And so where it came apart, this bottle, I made a little goblin chap to sit inside it. And you can see he's a bit constrained by the shape of the bottle. It was like a flask-shaped bottle. And I sealed the bottle with some Tiffany foil, and he was on the inside, and his little fingers there were coming through a little hole in the glass bottle. And just after I lost my son, the bottle broke again, to not be able to be repaired this time. But I've still got this little goblin. And Chris thought he was absolutely brilliant. I'd reused a gift from him that had broken, which he was devastated by. And it was very strange that the bottle broke just after I'd lost Chris as well. So he's quite a sweet little goblin. He has his freedom. But the little hermit guys and the one in the fob are all I have left now. But if you go and look up Dee Schiller from the Odd Fay, you'll see many, many pieces of her work. And they're great fun, made of polymer clay. She's very, very talented. And I enjoyed making those under her book's instruction. I haven't got any of the others. I have given them away. I've got a big string hung up here with all sorts of weird things on. Anyway, so that is all I've got to show you this week. I'm still toying with going fortnightly with these podcasts. I'll see what I get up to. If you don't see me one week, it might be because I have absolutely nothing to show. So don't be surprised. I am okay. We are okay. I have got to go and do some bits around the garden. I want to make the steps up to the deck because that will arrive next week. And do some pottering around the house. I don't think I've got anything. I should have my blood results back again, hopefully this week, if not the week after. All went well so far. I've got my Pilates as always on Tuesday. I actually managed to finally do a plough, which I've been trying to do for years. That's put your legs up and go up on your shoulders with your legs in the air. It's just one of those little things that I could never get the hang of, but I managed to do it finally. Next week is actually 1 year since I had my cancer diagnosis. I can't believe the year's gone so fast. So from all that horrific uncertainty of what is involved in having chronic myeloid leukemia, and all the ins and outs you have to go to find the drugs that are going to work with you, I'm on my they start you on an initial set of drugs, then you go on to what they call the TKI, which is a chemotherapy that's gentle enough for you to take daily, because your body is obviously reproducing white blood cells every single day all the time, and this has to be taken daily to keep them under control. The first TKI I took had horrific side effects, and I'm on my second, well, 2.5. The first one doesn't really count. The second proper TKI, which I am very, very happy with being on. If I've got to live with this horrible illness, then to be happy with what I'm on is a good thing. I can live with this one. It has a strange few side effects. My hair has gone completely bonkers, but hopefully I'll sort that out over the next couple of weeks. I have get strange headaches, and the tinnitus is quite strong, but and the bloodshot eye thing I had before last week, whenever it was. But other than that, I'm quite happy with this TKI, and I'm hoping it is working on the molecular level and doing what it should be to my blood cell counts. I'm hoping my neutrophils, which is my immunity, is coming up, and I can stay with this TKI because I'm happy that everything else, I have energy, I have a will to live. So it's a big thing. Anyway, so hopefully those results are back soon, and it is 1 year since my diagnosis next week on the Thursday the 14th. So I'm very grateful to all of you who have been with me on this journey. I don't keep pushing it at you. I mention it now and then in passing because I do live with it every day. But I am grateful for you who send me messages asking how I'm doing, and that some of you have been here all this time. Thank you so much. Your being the other side of my camera is very supportive. Even though the camera is distant, it's still very supportive to have this community. Thank you. And with that, I will now leave you, and I hope you all have a lovely week ahead and your weather is kind to you. And I hope you stay safe and stay creative. And I will see you all again, hopefully again soon. If not, don't be surprised if it's a 2-week gap. But I'll see what I can do. So bye for now.